I'm a weaver, and I work in a lot of ways like a painter, but I'm definitely, the technology and technique I use is over, under, over, under. But you can tell that I'm really interested in color and pattern. I have 3 installation shots to start to show you an idea of the scale of my work and to see how it kind of operates in a space. I need to take a special look at the piece on the right, the red triptych, and you'll see it again because the individual slide I put didn't work out very well. But all of this work is inspired by a trip I took to Uzbekistan in 2010. And I went there because I could. I had a friend who lived there, and I've always been interested in the floral and the color and motifs and patterns of Central Asian textiles. So I got to go to Samarkand and Bukhara and Margalan, which are historic and fabulous textile centers. I've always kind of wanted to somehow get repeats and rhythm going in my work, and that trip, I think, because I was totally over inundated by textiles. There's embroidered things called Susanis, and then ikat textiles, which is color woven into the, dyed and woven into the fabric. And that's also how I work. These pieces start out with a piece of white fabric, and I dye pattern and color into them, strip those into 1/2-inch widths, thread them on the loom, and then do a similar procedure for the weft. And what happens, you could see it more on those 2 previous slides, but you can also see it in here. There's a certain irregularity to the tension as the pieces of fabric go through the loom to be threaded on. And also in the previous 2 slides, you could see some dye mistakes. Well, they were not planned, but they add an awful lot more to the piece, I think, than I originally intended. And it's really good for a control freak to learn how to let go a little bit. So, boy, these are pretty good screenshots. Wow. And so you see, so what is fun about the way I work is because you're having 2 elements cross one another, the color can change dramatically. The color from the warp, the lengthwise thread, is all the same. In other words, the orange up here and the orange down there, actually, and this is another chance, these 2 were done, no, not on the same warp. But you can see by what the color of weft that goes across the warp, it changes the color. It's an optical change of color. And that can add a lot of dimension, and that's what I've been interested in for a long time, is layers and dimension and deep space. This is serendipity, and now we're up to 2013? 2013. And I finally just really let it out. And the way I consider these to be painting-like is that I dye these pieces, and then I can also rip them up into sections and intersperse them. So with this very regulated over-under right angle process, I'm seeking to loosen it up and kind of rebel against, actually, that, very precise system, and which again is pretty personal for me as well. These are the last 2 pieces, and there's details, but these are 20 inches wide by 40 inches long. And I had to take a break from the intense color of the previous work, and so these are a little more subtle. The patterning is a little more simple, but the thing that I'm really still playing with more and more is these intersection of colors, the overlapping of warp and weft colors, and the different illusions that they produce. And now, actually, the pieces I'm starting to work on at home right now are going back to the stronger color. And these also are more simpler in composition. I just was getting a little over-patterned, I think, when I was cutting those things. But you can see in the way that the color's been dyed in, I get lots of different color effects that way because the dyes are transparent. So I really have to say it's a very demented process, but think we're all demented. Aren't we? I